This is maybe a little bit calmer than my usual classes. If you're a regular, hopefully this will be a welcome change for you tonight. Most of our work today will be deeper stretches, longer holds, deeper breathing. So let's start by finding a comfortable seat on the mat. Grab yourself a pillow. I'm propped up on a pillow just for cush under the tush and to like sort of lengthen out your low back in case you're tight in the low back. And I'm just gonna gently challenge you right now that if slower is not usually your jam, probably in your living room or bedroom, wherever you are, that distractions are gonna be like really prevalent and really easy to just like play on your phone, look out the window, do whatever. If you're here, it's only 40 more minutes. I just challenge you to stay with it the whole time. Try to keep your mind in your body. Try to keep your mind on your breathing. Let's do something good for the body and try to de-stress. Come to a comfortable seat. We're gonna relax the hands in the lap and just take a few minutes to chill out. Go ahead and let your eyes close now. And let's just take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're gonna slow things down. Breathe in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Take 3 more breaths just like that. We are in no hurry. Just feel your belly fill, your chest rise, and let it go. Let's take a few more breaths with the mouth closed. Zip the lips and take a few more breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Lift your posture and relax your shoulders. Just take a little bit of light movement. So let the eyes open and just place your hands either on your knees or by your sides, whatever you find the most beneficial. We're just going to warm up the low back and hips. So you're just going to draw some circles with your upper body, just kind of moving around. And taking a few more big circles in each direction. Like I said, it's going to be light tonight, so it's all in the detail work this evening. Try to pay attention to the little nuances. Where are the little shifts that you can make that will increase the stretch or make this a better movement for your body? Go ahead and switch directions. It's definitely easy to think that all of the value of movement is in sweaty and getting sore, and I completely agree. I love that stuff, but we gotta take care of the basics sometimes, and tonight is one of those nights. If you're with me, we are just gonna deepen the quality of our movement and work on the flexibility and some of those movement foundations. So we are done with our circles. Come back to a nice tall seat. We're gonna reach the arms up overhead, and we're just gonna take a few slow breaths with a nice deep stretch. Thumbs behind you, lift up out of that seat, and take 3 nice deep breaths stretching. And we're gonna set the left hand down right next to us and take a little side bend up and over, stretching out my right side of the body. And in my side bends, I just always encourage you to check out what you need in this position. It doesn't need to look exactly like mine. So for a lot of you, if your back is tight, rolling your chest face down and reaching that arm out more in front of you rather than to the side will feel a lot better on your back. So just kind of check out that side body. This practice is for you. This is about finding what stretch pattern position you need. Find the position that you like. Pause for 3 deep breaths. Feel the air as you breathe, filling out your sides. And as you relax, release that right top side. Let it stretch and open. And we'll take those arms back up overhead, both of them. Breathe for 3. Okay to let the eyes open or close. Feel the sides stretch long. And we're going to set the right hand down on the side and reach the left hand up and over and explore sideways. What's going on in that side? Where do you need it the most? One more deep breath. Fill the belly. Reach the fingertips a little further. Release and come upright to a seated position. Cool. Take the arms overhead one more time. 3 deep breaths. Stretch both sides long. And we're going to take a twist. Twisting over to the left. The right hand is on this knee and the left hand is behind you. Lift through the chest and look behind you. And on each exhale, feel just like a little millimeter deeper into that twist. Each exhale, just a little deeper into that twist. Shoulders drop. One more breath. Fill the belly. Twist deeply. Return to center. And take those arms back overhead. 3 breaths. Reach tall. Stretch. Feel the muscles along your spine lengthening here. Lift. And on your next exhale, twist to the right side. The right hand going behind your low back. On the floor to help you deepen that twist. Drop the shoulders and 5 deep breaths. Return to center and reach for the sky. Last time in this position. Reach and take 3 deep breaths. Fill your belly. Feel the shoulders drop out of the ears, but the fingertips reach long. And we'll come to hands and knees just to give those legs a little break if they've gotten kind of crunched up. Get some blood moving through the thighs. So I'm setting my pillow aside. Feel free to do the same. We will come back to a seat in a few moments, so keep it handy. On hands and knees. We are going to start with just some basic side-to-side movement. You're going to inhale with a flat back in the center and exhale. Push your hips out to the left. So hips drop over to the left side, creating a little bit of an arch, a C curve in your spine. Inhale back into center and exhale, drop the hips over to the other side. So just taking some side-to-side movement, lengthening out our side body and our outer hips. Just taking our sweet time, going nice and slow. Might as well, we're here. Feel all of this stuff opening up in there. Great, and let's do just a little bit of leg and hip work. We're going to step the left leg back behind, toes stay on the floor, and just a light calf stretch, so nothing too intense. You're going to push that heel backward towards the wall behind you. Use the hands to press the floor away. So we get into that calf. You can make this a little more intense by lifting that knee up into the chest. You'll get a little more core work and feel a deeper stretch in that back calf, but that's not required, not necessary. Take a couple more deep breaths there. And let's switch out the legs. Bring the left one in, step the right leg back. Slow, deep breaths. Relax the shoulders. Press that heel actively into the wall behind you. Use the hands to help press away to deepen that stretch. An option to lift that left knee. And we're going to bring that right knee back in, hands and knees. And take a few light cat-cow. So classic spinal movement, spinal stretch. We're going to drop the belly, look up, take a big breath in. And exhale, round your back, look towards your belly button, breathe out. Inhale, arch. Nice, slow, big breaths. Getting as deep in that stretch in each position as we can with each end of the breath. One more round. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round. Come to a flat back. Keep that belly pulled in to protect the low back and stay active in this position. Step the left leg back behind you one more time. And this time we're going to get into the outer hip and into the inner thigh. So inside, outside of that hip. We're going to draw that knee up towards the sky. Nice and high, bend that knee, and then bring it forward outside the left hand. So left foot outside of left hand. And we're just going to kind of shift things around here to get those hips to be okay with this position. And then we're going to bring that left hand really nice, or left foot in close to the hand so they're right next to each other. We're going to try to get this knee right in close to this shoulder, and we're going to wiggle the back knee back a ways until we get a nice deep stretch in the groin. So like you're going to drop down into the splits, open those two thighs apart from each other, scooch that back leg back, and find a deeper stretch on the inner part of your thighs, your groin. Get heavy through the chest and take 5 breaths here. Last breath, really heavy through the chest, bend those elbows. And we'll carefully come back out of this on the hands and knees. We're going to take it on the other side. So the right foot steps back behind and lift that right knee towards the sky as you rotate it and set the right foot outside the right hand and move the hips around a little. So stretch out the leg, bend the leg. Move it around, get some blood flow into the joints. And then we're going to bring that right thigh in real close to the right hand and right shoulder and wiggle the back knee back as far as you can comfortably to find a nice deep stretch on that inner thigh. Heavy through the chest, bend the elbows a little bit. Take some deep breaths. One more nice deep breath, heavy chest, drop it down. We're going to sweep that right leg back, so on hands and knees again. And take a few more of those side to side hip drops. Hips go side to side. Just keeping them loose. rock the hips back to the heels all the way in a child's pose. Take the knees just a little wider for me here and stretch the arms out long in front of you. Once you're in child's pose, I want you to really pay attention to your belly. I want you to try to breathe so low that your belly presses into your thighs and feel the tailbone sink a little bit heavier into those heels. Take 4 more breaths here. Lift your head and your elbows up off the mat and walk your hands over to the left. Just a couple inches, not a big deal. And then reach that right arm out away from you, just a little extra. Stretching out that right side. I don't think you can see me very well. I'm going to adjust that. Feeling the right side body stretch, take 3 more deep breaths. Lift elbows in ahead, come back to center, reach long in the center, take 1 nice deep breath. And walk it over to the right, stretching out your left side body. So reach through that left hand away from you. Relax your face to the floor. Maybe drop your left cheek on the floor. And bring it back to center, regular child's pose, 1 deep breath. And come up to hands and knees. We're going to stretch out those shoulders even further. So I'm going to back up to the back edge of my mat. Feel free to do the same because we're going to stretch out long out front. We're going to tilt the tailbone outward and try to lift that tailbone towards the sky, taking puppy pose. A nice shoulder and upper chest and back stretch. We're going to walk the hands out away from us while keeping the hips nice and lifted. So I'm trying to get my chest and my chin to the floor, keeping the tailbone high. And really carefully come back out of this, sliding the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. We're going to tuck the toes and just briefly find a down dog. This will probably be the most dramatic stretch that we do all evening. Lift the hips. Take a gentle down dog. Feel free to move around as much as you like in your down dog. Take some deep breaths. Again, focusing on those nuances, those little tiny places. Where can you find that you don't usually pay attention to, that you can get to release by breathing and by adjusting your position to find relief in that area. Walk your hands and feet towards each other. We're going to stand in forward fold. Feet hip width apart. Spread out your toes. Relax your upper body forward. And 2 other options here. So you can either just leave those hands on the floor. You can grab opposite elbows, kind of classic ragdoll, and let yourself hang. That feels really good in the shoulders. Or you can interlace your fingers and place them behind the back of your head to help lengthen out your neck. Options. Find what feels nice to you. Bend the knees. The stretch should be felt largely through the upper back, trying to release that upper back, trying to let gravity open up the space between the vertebrae. Last deep breath in, forward fold. Place your hands on the floor if they aren't already, and come back to hands and knees. Hands and knees. Take a few more cat-cow movements. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round. 2 more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. We'll come back to a seat. I told you we would. So grab your pillow if you'd like it. I'm going to leave mine aside for now. We're going to take one more forward fold over the legs. So stretching out the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. Let the head relax forward. Reach the hands out in front of you. Take some breaths there. I think the key to this stretch is heaviness through the head. So feel the stretch all the way down the back, through the back of the legs. You're welcome to pull on the feet, to bend the knees, whatever you need so that this is not super painful, not too easy. And we're going to roll up slowly out of this and bend the left knee. We're going to take the left knee over to the right side and take a little twist here. Right arm grabs that thigh, pulls it in close, and we start to feel the stretch out in this outer hip. Take the left hand behind you, look behind you, and breathe. Shoulders stay out of the ears. Not a crazy deep stretch, but we're working on the breathing to accentuate the stretch. The slow breaths signal the muscles to release. Two more exhales, and on each of those exhales, if you can deepen that twist just a little, release into it. Slowly return out of the stretch. Lengthen out your left leg and take a brief forward fold over both straight legs. And we'll take it on the other side. Bend the right knee. Step it over to the left side. Left arm hugs that thigh in close. Key is dropping this hip down. I don't think I mentioned that last time, but try to keep this hip on the floor. Twist behind, right hand on the floor behind you. Breathe. Last breath, nice deep twist on your exhale. Release, face forward, forward fold over both straight legs, a few breaths. sit up. Bend both knees, feet on the floor, and set your hands behind you. Lift the chest towards the sky, just creating a little bit of a back arch. Open the chest, bend the elbows. So we're creating tension here in the chest. Bending the elbows, but reaching that chest forward. Feel the stretch across the fronts of the shoulders. Deep bend in the elbows, one more breath. Lift the chest. Release out of the chest stretch. Deeper stretches into the hips. I'm definitely going to need my pillow for this, and I'll show you why. You have the option to use this if you want or if you need it. When you're sitting on the pillow, it helps to prop the hips forward. So if you're tight in the low back and you're on the floor, you will probably be kind of like tending to sit with a rounded low back. There's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to isolate the hips better if the low back is straight. So we use the pillow to kind of help push the hips forward and lift through that low back. So if you tend to be tight and round like this, use a pillow underneath of you. Okay, into those hips like I mentioned. So you are gonna start, you've got two options. We're gonna put the left leg either in front of the right and the legs kind of stretched out, spread out this way. If that doesn't feel like much of a stretch to you and those knees just plop right down to the floor, take it to level 2, where we're gonna put left leg on top of right leg. And then you can see that gets a little tighter. This knee doesn't wanna drop down. That's okay, that just means I probably don't wanna take it any deeper than this. So I'm gonna stack knee on top of ankle, ankle on top of knee. And we're gonna try to lengthen out that low back. So tilt the hips forward, reaching the belly button in front of us towards the lap. And take the hands to the floor in front of you to reach that chest out in front. So I really want you to feel long and lifted out that back. So extend your back before we start to release. And we should really start to get left hip stretch out of this. Reaching that chest forward. Let's take 3 more breaths. And those fingers can creep away from you just a little bit as you're able to deepen, especially with the exhales. And now if you feel like you are at your end range, like, okay, there's no way I can get any lower with that flat back, you can release your low back, your upper back, round, and just fold over those hips. Relax everything. Find a stretch through that left hip. Slow breaths, deep exhales. And take your time coming up out of that hip, out of that seat, out of that fold. We're going to switch to the other side. And on the other side, you might have to back off to level 1, or you might get to increase to level 2. It might be totally different than that left side. So right leg now in front or on top. Use the hands to help push the low back straight, reaching the chest forward. We're just taking our time, feeling each exhale as it kind of opens up the fibers of that right hip. And the belly collapses a little closer to the floor. And when you get to the point where you can't go any deeper without folding, go ahead and allow yourself to fold. Two more deep breaths on this right hip. And release out of it slowly. Come upright to a seat. We're going to stretch the legs out in front of us. Option to use that pillow or not. And forward fold over both legs straight. You're going to come upright to a seat again. Find a comfortable position. So for some of you that might be more comfortable on your knees in hero position. For some, just crisscross applesauce on the pillow. Whatever feels most comfortable, most easy for you. Find that comfy position. We're going to get back into the upper body a little bit. We're going to start with triceps and side body. So reach the left hand up towards the sky, the thumb pointed behind you. Take that left hand to your right shoulder blade and push your chin, double chin yourself backwards, which should already start to open this armpit and side up. Add the right hand to help lift that elbow. So we want to be reaching that left elbow up high, almost arching it behind you, and maybe even a little over to the right. So I'm really lengthening out this whole side. Keep creating that double chin. Push your head backwards. Feel the stretch on that left side. Deep belly breaths for a couple more rounds. And release the hands. Before we go to the right side, we're going to stretch out that left side neck. So you're going to place the left hand underneath of this left hip, palm face down, and then we're just going to gently drop the right ear over to the right shoulder. So we get side stretch under this left side of the neck, and you're probably going to feel it a little bit in the palm. If that's too intense for you, just grab on under the thigh and press that thigh down. That'll be a little less intense in the palm. And again, the magic in this is the exhales. It signals those muscles to release. Deep exhales, relax that left neck. Couple more breaths. And release that left side. We'll take the tricep stretch and side stretch back on the right side. Reach the right arm nice and high. Get tall through that right hand. Feel the back of the hand of the thumb reaching behind you. So this is already nice and open. Take that hand to the left shoulder blade. Push the chin backwards. And use the left hand to help pull that elbow back and to the side. Lift your chest, tuck your chin. Take one more nice Nice deep breath. Get long and tall through that right side. Release both the hands. The right hand sets underneath the right hip or grabs onto this right thigh, and the left ear drops over to the left shoulder. Relax the shoulders, let them release. Enjoy the last few minutes of calm. Those slow exhales do your body so good by just signaling different feedback loops. It signals to your body safety and security, which decreases stress hormone. It allows the muscles to relax. It's all in the breath, guys. Deep, slow exhales. So awesome that we're taking this time to do something so good for our body, even though it's simple. And release out of that neck stretch. We're going to bend the knees and place the feet flat out in front of us. And we're going to give the knees a hug, trying to stretch out the upper back. So I want you to feel the shoulder blades pulling apart from each other. So grab onto your shins just outside of your knees, and create as much roundedness in your back as you possibly can. So pull against those knees, drop the chin, and feel the stretch in the upper back. One more breath. Reach the shoulder blades apart from each other. And release out of that stretch. Remove your pillow because it's time to lay down. Hell yes. Come to your back. And just feel your spine and all the muscles along your spine, all the way from the tailbone up into the neck. Just relax and melt into the floor. Everything just settles into the floor. Relax the low back. Let it melt. Relax the shoulders. Lengthen the neck. Take the feet just a little bit wider than they would be normally. So mine are just to the outside edges of my mat. I'm just going to slowly side to side my knees, which releases my hips and my low back. Just a few slow back and forths. Bring the knees back up and into the chest. If you want, if your low back is still feeling tight, a few rocks side to side will help release that low back, help lengthen those tight muscles and tendons. And before we finish up tonight and lay flat on the back in recovery, we're just going to finish with one last hamstring stretch. Reach the legs up towards the sky. I know this is tight for a lot of us. Grab the backs of the legs and pull it in. Just a little inversion. If you're super flexible and you can grab those calves, feel free. That's a bit much for me. I'm just going to wrap up this evening with 2 minutes. I invite you, I challenge you to stay with me for 2 more minutes, stretched out on the floor in total comfort and relaxation. Find a position that feels restful, melty, comfy for you. And just be. And for our last 2 minutes together, we just want to keep thinking about all those little tiny places that we've been holding tension. Mine's in my neck. Maybe yours is in your hips. Slow breath. Trying to reduce stress. Trying to lower blood pressure. Just feel calm and peaceful for a little bit. Slow breath. Three breaths left, you guys. Just 3 final slow breaths. Open the mouth and let the last one out of the mouth. Take a nice deep stretch. Point your toes. Reach your arms overhead. And that is all. Thank you guys for joining me. I am grateful that you stuck with it and that you practiced some self-care tonight. I hope you have